businessmen won't sell their shares until the price is right for them. Manchester United are known around the world, and that's why this club is worth so much.
Well, the word from the Glazer family in the last hour is that even though this deal has fallen through, they are still interested in Manchester United and they think it's a great club. Darren.
And Sally, we've had confusing signals from the city this morning, so, I mean, could a takeover bid still be possible?
Well, I think what's happened is the Glazer deal just didn't add up financially, but the key to this whole thing is those two Irish businessmen we saw in that report, because they hold nearly 30% of the shares. Now, if someone came to them and offered them more than £3 a share, you would have to say that deal would be very tempting indeed.
All right, Sally, thank you. Cricket now, and Australia's Shane Warne has become the leading all-time wicket-taker in Test match cricket. He claimed his 533rd victim in the second Test against India in Chennai when he had night watchman Irfan Pathan caught at slip. Let's get a check on the weather now. Here's Jay Wynn. Jay.
Darren, thanks very much indeed. We've seen scenes like this across many of the roads across England recently, quite wet and quite misty and murky. Indeed, we are entering the time of the year when early morning fog can become late morning fog, and that was the case in Newcastle today. The fog has only just recently lifted. It's still rather grey, and there's rain not too far away. Indeed, we saw some very wet weather in Scotland last night. Around about 2 inches of rain falling in parts of eastern Scotland, and as you can see, there's more rain on the way. We've also got rain up and down the west coast of the UK, some heavy bursts of rain here, and also, as you can tell by the bright colours across East Anglia, the Wash, we've got some bright colours here too, some heavy bursts of rain, and all that is spreading its way up that eastern coast. So some really wet weather here through the afternoon. It's very wet too, or it'll be turning very wet across central and eastern parts of Scotland. Western Scotland, not too bad at all, some brighter weather here. And after a bright day across much of the north and west of England, we'll see 1 or 2 showers here through the afternoon before that more general rain creeps its way across the Pennines. Elsewhere in England and Wales, well, you can expect at least 1 or 2 potentially sharp showers. It's a little bit on the chilly side out there. We might just see those temperatures creeping up to 12, possibly 13 degrees, but for the most part it's around about 10 or 11 degrees. Coolish feel to things, particularly in the northeast of Scotland. Quite a breeze blowing in from the North Sea here. But in the southeast, we've got the Gulf taking place at Wentworth. Of course, we saw interruptions yesterday. There's more rain to come, I think. Some showery bursts of rain, and morning mist and fog will also be a feature in the coming few mornings. It'll certainly be misty and foggy overnight tonight, particularly across central and eastern parts of the UK, and it's going to be rather grey and wet for Wales, through the Midlands, across towards East Anglia, and it's going to be very wet across Scotland. Potential for at least another inch of rain, maybe even more over the higher grounds. With all the cloud around overnight tonight, not particularly cold, but some of those more rural spots, you will see the temperatures creeping down to, say, 4 or so degrees. But I think, for the most part, it will be a frost-free night. But it'll be a cloudy grey start to things through tomorrow. Still some rain through the Midlands, across towards East Anglia. Still very wet to start the day across Scotland. And it'll stay pretty wet across Scotland. That rain will just creep a little bit further south into the afternoon. Some of that creeping into Northern Ireland. And elsewhere across England and Wales, well, the mist and the fog will lift, and I think we should see at least some spells of sunshine, but equally those showers will be breaking out quite widely, and almost anywhere could catch one. Top temperatures similar to what we're seeing today, a coolish feel to things, maybe 12, possibly 13 your top temperature. Into Sunday, well, England and Wales, not too bad for the most part. There will be a few showers around, but it certainly looks as if the end of the weekend sees most of the rain confined to the north. Monday sees the weather front sweeping in from the north and the west. Darren.
Thanks, Jay. Now at 1:30, a reminder of our top stories. Zimbabwe's main opposition leader, Morgan Tsvangirai, has been cleared of a plot to kill Robert Mugabe. And an Australian drug addict is found guilty of murdering the British backpacker, Caroline Stuttle. Well, that's all from the 1 o'clock news this Friday lunchtime, so it's goodbye from me. Have a great weekend, and we can now join the BBC's news teams across the United Kingdom.
Welcome to BBC London News. People who urinate in the street in Surrey are being told to clean up their own mess. If they become abusive, then they face arrest. It's the latest police approach to rid the county of antisocial behaviour. Our Home Affairs correspondent Guy Smith went on patrol with the police to see for himself the extent of the problem.
Within 5 minutes on patrol, and this man is caught red-handed. Right, mate.
It's only 8:30 on Friday evening.
Obviously caught you urinating in the street, okay?
Surrey police officers have a new weapon, disinfectant and a brush.
Right, okay, take hold of the broom for me. Yeah, all right. Thank you.
Antisocial behaviour is not tolerated, especially here in Guildford.
And underneath as well, please.
Those urinating in the street are told to clean up. This is the first scheme of its kind.
Just a little bit around the edges there. And underneath as well, please.
When the offenders do the clear-ups, that's in full public view. So obviously if they're in full public view clearing up their own mess, they're less likely to do it again because of the ridicule factor, because their friends are seeing what they're doing and other members of the public are seeing what they're doing.
2 years ago, Surrey Police introduced a footballing theme to crack down on antisocial behaviour. Officers hand out yellow cards like this.
This is your yellow card you're getting.
It's a first warning for those caught swearing or urinating in the street. If caught again the same night, they're given a red card and then arrested. But it's had a limited effect. It's coming up to about 1 o'clock in the morning and most bars and clubs here will be closing and people will be starting to make their way home. It's now when a night's worth of drinking could hit the pavement. This young man knows we're filming, but continues. And at the taxi rank, we asked this pub goer what he thinks of the idea.
Because it will teach them not to do it again, make them embarrassed about doing it again.
Moments later, he's doing just that. This man, though, wasn't so lucky. Police hope he won't do it again. Guy Smith, BBC London News, Guildford.
And it's an issue many of you have been calling into our radio station, BBC London 94.9 about. Here's John Gaunt.
Plenty of calls on this subject today about urinating in the street. Most people find it very offensive and welcome Surrey Police's crackdown. Tracy in Newham thinks it's absolutely disgusting.
To get people peeing wherever they like, and I don't think people are clamping down on it enough, because as far as I'm concerned, it's just as bad as exposing themselves, really.
But David makes the point that often there's no other option.
People aren't doing it just to be funny. People are doing it because they need, you know yourself, if you're out, you get desperate, and I mean, I don't know what other option you've got.
But finally, maybe we've got a solution. Henry sent me this email. He says, in many restaurants in Europe, John, a simple sign indicates that non-customers may use the toilets for just 50 cents. Seems simple.
And what's your view? Do you think your local police should crack down on people who urinate in the street? Email us your thoughts. That's to yourlondon@bbc.co.uk. The Queen has paid her first ever visit to a Sikh temple in London. She visited the Hounslow Temple earlier today and gave her formal approval to a £2.5 million expansion plan. Paul Curran is there. Paul, how's the visit going down there in Hounslow?
Well, it went down very well. Today marks the 400th anniversary of Sikh scriptures and also the 25th anniversary of a Sikh temple or Gurdwara here in Hounslow. Now, the Queen, like any other visitor, when she arrived at the temple, she had to take off her shoes. She was then presented with some garlands and then she made her way into the prayer hall. Now, when she was in the actual temple, she was presented to a number of the Sikh elders and she also met some Sikh war veterans who are here today. During the visit, she was also then unveiling a plaque which commemorates the phase 2 of the temple down here, and that's a £2.5 million expansion. So all in all, it's been a very important day for the Sikh community here in West London, and Mohan Singh is the General Secretary of the temple. Obviously, it's been a busy day. How's it gone for you?
Well, it's gone very well, other than the weather. I think everyone feels satisfied that, well, everything went smoothly.
Now, what does it mean to the Sikh community here?
For the Sikh community, I think we feel very proud and happy that at the occasion. And in addition to that, I think one of the reasons why we wanted this event and one of the reasons why the Queen came in the first place was because of the many activities that we have at this Gurdwara in partnership with the local organizations, which benefit not only the Sikh community, but the local community in Hounslow as well. And it was this initiative which probably sold it to the Queen, and she decided to visit the Gurdwara.
Mohan Singh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that's very true. This Gurdwara is actually used for a whole host of things other than just a place of worship and will be used much more in the future. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Paul. Hundreds of baggage and cargo handlers at Gatwick Airport are staging their 6th strike today. The Transport and General Workers Union says the 12-hour stoppage is over workloads and the suspension of a senior steward by the employer Service-Air. After just over a week of performances, the salsa musical Murderous Instincts will close tomorrow evening. The show, which has cost £2 million to produce, is folding after its writer and producer returned home to Puerto Rico. The show was due to run till January. Football legend Sir Trevor Brooking collected his knighthood from Buckingham Palace today. After an 18-year career with West Ham and England, Brooking went on to become chairman of the Sports Council and is now the Football Association's Director of Football Development. Now, Charlton Athletic are a busy club at the moment. They start their centenary celebrations on Sunday at the Valley. But the club have also been hard at work away from SE7, 5,500 miles away in South Africa to be precise. Geraint Hughes followed Charlton to Alexandra, a township outside Johannesburg where the club are helping to develop football at grassroots level.
Welcome to Alexandra. It's the oldest of Johannesburg's many townships. Indeed, Nelson Mandela lived here before moving the short distance to Soweto. Unlike Soweto, since the collapse of apartheid, reconstruction and investment has been slower to affect the estimated 1.2 million people crammed into this township.
There's two levels to what we're doing here. One is with the kids having fun, making sure they're enjoying themselves, playing football but being educated at the same time. And the more important part is the sustainability part. It's important that we leave people here with the skills to actually carry on what we're doing. We're a football club in London. We can't be coming to South Africa every week, and we can't be delivering stuff out here all the time. We need to be delivering to our own children back at home with our own difficulties that we have. And it's important that the skills are left here with the people and the local people, and they take ownership.
Coaches from Charlton's community scheme have not long stepped off the plane from London. Their immediate job? Well, to get ready for an influx of 1,000 football-mad kids. The man shouting isn't a coach. He's the club chairman, and everyone must muck in.
In most cases, it's just like you need to polish.
Charlton's reason for coming to Alex is not just about giving children a day of fun. The club wants to leave a legacy. Over 30 local coaches by this weekend will have received an FA Level 1 coaching certificate. It's Sean Daly's job to make sure they pass.
Good morning, my name's Sean.
My name is Elias.
Elias, so they begin to talk.
While Sean keeps coaching, children from Dr. Kanak and Zenzalini schools begin to invade Three Squares Stadium.
They're going to drop the ball on the first cone, run back as fast as they can, and they're going to give something I love doing, a high five. Give me a high five. That's what I like to see. Give me a high five.
So how does it make you feel as chairman of the club?
Fantastic, isn't it? It almost brings tears to your eyes when you see the kids coming in, singing and chanting, and just look at the smiling faces and the pleasure that these kids get from it. Most of them haven't seen a real football before, and it really is moving, I think.
By the time Charlton come home next week, over 1,000 children from 9 schools will have had a helping hand from the club.
I'm winning.
Geraint Hughes, BBC London News, Johannesburg.
Now, on Monday, Britain's Olympians and Paralympians will celebrate their success in Athens with a parade through central London. We have a pair of VIP passes to give away. They'll give you exclusive access at the front of Trafalgar Square to witness the Parade of Heroes. Just answered this question. Kelly Holmes won 2 gold medals at this year's Games. One was in the 800 metres, but at what distance did she win the other? 1,500 metres, 400 metres or 200 metres. To enter, call 09011 110 850. Lines close at midnight tomorrow. Now let's take a look at the weather with Peter Cockcroft. Peter, before you tell us about the weekend, tell us what's Monday's parade weather looking like.
Samantha, a lot better than today and a lot better than the weekend. Of course, the Olympic parade, as you say, is on Monday afternoon. They'll be moving from Piccadilly around the houses to Trafalgar Square. It should be dry, a little bit of sunshine, bit of a chill to the wind. And of course, we'll be covering it on television, on radio and online. As far as the rest of today is concerned, more rain and even the brightest skies down to the south. And I can see some brighter skies to the south of London. Are likely to give some quite sharp showers, perhaps even the odd rumble of thunder. We'll keep some rain overnight tonight. There will be some holes in between the clouds, so as well as mist on the hills, we could get a little bit of fog at low levels. Temperatures around about 8 in town, 3, 4, 5 Celsius out in the countryside. So we start the weekend with some fog. That should clear out of the way. Skies brightening up with a scattering of showers. Some of the showers are likely to be heavy, but not a lot of sunshine around. However, on Saturday night we will get some bigger holes in the cloud, so it's likely to be colder in the countryside, 2, 3, 4 degrees. So on Sunday morning, as well as some fog, we're likely to have a few pockets of frost as well. Again, things brightening up for the afternoon, a bit more sunshine, but a scattering of showers. So, a showery weekend, and if you're marking Ramadan, well, at the moment, sun rises at 7:30, sets at 6 in the evening, Sam.
Well, that's about it from me. Nina Hussain will be here at 6:30. She'll be bringing you the latest offering from the West End's newest art space. But for now, from all of us, have a very good afternoon.